This is how you would die on every planet.
5-minute time limit without being eliminated will win this game.
Everyone! Everybody, you need to pay attention! Hey, listen up!
Okay, bro, your mask or your helmet is already cracked. GG's. GG's? What planet even is that? Wait, what planet is yellow?
If you landed on Venus, this hot planet
Venus
would crush you like a plastic bottle.
Oh!
It would be painful, but don't worry, it would only last 5 seconds. The longest 5 seconds of your life.
Every single bone in that man's body just snapped?
Yeah, no Sherlock.
Okay, dude, I did not realize what we're watching today. Everyone strap in. This is gonna get bad. Sound the alarm. Wee woo, wee woo.
And just wait till you see what happens on Mars. It's unsettling.
I thought humans could survive on Mars, though. Why are we trying to move to Mars if that's what happens?
Dense atmosphere, and with that dense atmosphere comes crushing pressure. Literally, it would crush you. The Venusian atmospheric pressure is 92 times higher than the pressure you experience on Earth. It would only take a millisecond before it started crumpling your spacesuit. After 1 second, your suit's integrity would be compromised. You'd be trapped in the imploding spacesuit with no way out. And that's when your body would begin to collapse.
Honestly, I feel like that's probably one of the better ways that we're gonna see. I know it's gruesome and I know it's painful, but at least it's quick, okay? If I was gonna die on a planet, I'd want it to be quick.
In the next 2 seconds, your skin and muscles would compress. Your blood vessels would pop. Your organs would fail. Finally,
oh God.
Just like that, you'd be gone.
Oh,
Venus
that's brutal.
Looks like a beautiful place, but it's deadly.
What looks beautiful about that? What are you talking about? There's no grass, there's no water, there's no trees. All it is black mountain and yellow, like toxic looking fumes everywhere.
And being crushed by extreme pressure is just one of the many ways you'd die here. Remember the dense Venusian atmosphere? Well, not only does it create crushing pressure, but it also generates the greenhouse effect. Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Venus is hot, instantly boiling your insides kind of hot.
I was gonna say, I thought that you would die to Venus because of how the temperature. And I didn't realize like how dense it was that it crushes your body. What? I thought it was gonna be like less gravity because it's a smaller planet. Ah!
Even if you could somehow withstand all that bone-crushing pressure,
I think I would live. I could survive.
Oh yeah, this feels hot, like being toasted, like bread.
Get underground.
Being toasted. You guys know what toast is.
Warning, internal temperature rising.
That is
surface temperature on Venus reaches 465 degrees Celsius.
GG. Nah, GG. Nah. I thought it was gonna say like 150 degrees Fahrenheit, which is way too hot, and you would die. You would die to that, I'm pretty sure, at least.
That's almost as hot as the lava coming out of Earth's volcanoes.
Okay, you're dead way quicker than that
You'd be
then.
feeling the effect of this intense heat within seconds.
The only way you could survive that is if your space suit is like heat resistant. That's the only way.
After 1 minute, your internal temperature would start rising. Cue heat exhaustion.
What if, Guy, I don't feel so good.
Okay, Spider-Man.
Temperature 40 degrees Celsius and rising.
At this
GG.
point, you'd
GG.
experience nausea,
GG.
fatigue, and extreme
Just let it happen. Just
Your
let it happen.
internal organs would start to overheat.
It's getting dark. It's getting dark.
Okay, I get that feeling when I stand up all the
Lose
time.
Consciousness.
10
Just
minutes.
have minutes left before suffering brain damage and complete cardiac arrest.
That honestly seems way longer than I would have guessed. At 400 degrees Celsius, what are we talking about?
On this planet, heat stroke is no joke. Nothing's a joke here, really. The Venusian air is unbreathable. It's
He's got
made
his
up of
helmet off.
96.5% carbon dioxide
Oh,
and
jeez.
3.5% nitrogen, which means taking just one breath of this atmosphere would suffocate you. And if that's not enough,
Oh my God,
Venus's
that's brutal.
sulfuric rain
Okay.
would corrode your spacesuit and burn your skin.
It's just getting worse. It rains acid on this planet. What? How is this guy gonna say that the planet is beautiful and then all it is made out of toxins and death?
As far as the survival situation on Venus goes, it's a 1 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Right.
Now this
Is the moon?
is Mercury.
Oh,
Closest
it looks like the
planet to
moon.
sun, like, I haven't just suffered a massive heat incineration already? Come on, one
Wait.
guy.
Well,
Mercury looks like the
Mercury
moon?
has a little secret. It's actually extremely freezing. At least on the night side.
I was gonna say, I think Mercury is one of the planets that is tidally locked, where it's always facing the sun no matter where it is around it. And so one side is like 500 degrees and then the other side is like negative 500 degrees. But if you are like on the line of where it is cold versus hot, there actually should be a little Goldilocks zone where you could survive theoretically.
Surface temperature minus 180 degrees Celsius.
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
Lord have mercy.
Everybody knows that.
Okay, question though. Would you guys rather freeze to death or die of heat, of it being way too hot? I think I would go too hot. Being cold just seems way too uncomfortable. If you do die to being cold, maybe your whole body freezes after, and then people in the future can thaw you and revive you. I changed my answer. I'm going freeze.
Its planetary neighbor Venus, it doesn't have an atmosphere. And without an atmosphere, there's
no
nothing
oxygen.
to trap the sun's heat and keep it close to the planet during the long Mercurian nights.
Oh, and there's no
Even though
oxygen.
Mercury is just 58 million kilometers from the sun. As soon as night hits, it cools down rapidly.
Okay, I have a dumb question, but you guys are very smart, so hopefully you can help me out with an answer. But how does a planet get an atmosphere? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand Earth has an atmosphere. That's how we have, like, you know, the ozone layer and oxygen and that. But like the moon, for example, doesn't. It's just a rock out in space. Why does the Earth and some other planets, how do they have atmospheres and then other planets and rocks out in space don't have anything at all? Huh?
When you first land, you'll be okay. You could walk around and explore the planet.
Yeah, Rico, there's like a little numbness in my fingers. Is that normal?
Numbness in the
that's called
extremities
frostbite.
indicates the early stages of hypothermia.
Nah.
Called
I'm okay.
frostbite.
It's like minus 180 degrees here, you know? Of course it's a little chilly. What a shocker.
I would pee my pants at this point for
Hypothermia
warmth
would
only
take a little
purposes.
time to kick in. It starts with a tingling feeling in your fingers, then suddenly you begin to shiver.
Yeah, I don't feel any shivers.
Just pee your pants, bro. Pee and poop your pants for warmth.
Maybe I feel a few shivers, but it's not that bad.
Warning, your body temperature has dropped to 35 degrees
Bro,
Celsius.
get back in your spaceship. Get back in your spaceship. Why is he not getting... Okay, it's triggering me watching this. The thing is, though, is this is a video of like how you would die, so he's going to keep on dying over and over. Kind of sad if you think about it. But it is triggering me that he's not just getting back in his spaceship.
They'd be able to move.
Warning, core body temperature at 32 degrees Celsius.
GG. GG.
Return to the spaceship
GG.
immediately.
Your muscles
See, even
would
your
feel
spaceship
stiff.
knows to
You'd
do it.
feel confused and cold.
GG.
There's at least 102 Dalmatians.
You'd feel extremely disoriented. Everything would slow down for you. But you wouldn't die. Not yet.
Warning, core body temperature now 28 degrees
Bro,
Celsius.
he's not even trying to get back in the spaceship.
Even now, you
This guy's kinda dumb.
You could barely function, but you're alive.
Oh god, this sounds like
It'll
torturous.
take about 60 minutes for Mercury's dark side to kill you. Slow.
A whole
cold,
hour
painful.
of freezing to
At least
death.
you get to see some of Mercury's views before you collapsed from the extreme cold.
Oh god, that seems awful. Isn't it kind of insane how fragile the human body is? We can die to being too hot, we can die to being too cold, we can die from getting scratched in the wrong area, we can die to not having enough oxygen in the air. There's a million things of how we can die, and a lot of them are like not even that crazy.
I give Mercury's night side a 3 out of 10.
But what about its
But
day
Mercury
side?
has a day side too.
What about its
it's
in-between
burning
side?
hot.
All right, let's stop in between the day and night though.
It's 427 degrees Celsius.
GG.
Just slightly cooler than the temperature on Venus. And it's not the intense heat that would kill you, it's extreme radiation too. You'd
Radiation.
feel all of it the moment you stepped out of your spaceship.
What does radiation even feel like? Is it just like getting poisoned and then your skin starts to like boil? That's what I imagine radiation is.
Your body would start overheating. If you didn't have the protection of your spacesuit, your skin would immediately get radiation burns.
Ah.
My hands are burning! Ah!
It wouldn't be pretty. All that radiation would quickly damage your DNA. It takes 1/1000th of a second to kick off that process.
Oh my
Within
god.
the next hour, your cells would mutate and die. So make sure to wear a spacesuit, no matter how hot it feels.
Hear me out though. Godzilla was made, or you know, turned into what he is because of radiation. So what I'm saying is, maybe if we send enough people to Mercury, maybe one survives and becomes actual real-life Godzilla or humanoid Godzilla. You never know. Never know.
Danger. Core body temperature increased to 39 degrees Celsius.
GG, dude. Get back in the spaceship.
After 5 minutes of these burning conditions, you'd begin to feel the effects of hyperthermia. If your suit's cooling system were to fail, you'd experience an amount of heat you've never felt in your life.
God, it burns! My hands! It's like they're on fire!
I feel bad for him.
Exactly like they're on fire!
Does anyone else feel bad for this guy?
Sudden overheating would make you nauseous. After 10 minutes, you'd be like a piece of toast. Your
I
body
need 'em.
temperature would hit 42 degrees Celsius. And if you've ever had a fever like that, you'd know at this point, you'd be in delirium.
What is
I
he?
swear, there were 100
What is he doing?
Dalmatians. Everywhere! Dalmatians everywhere!
Exactly like
What?
that.
Are you a Dalmatian?
Your muscles would become weak and your organs would start to shut down.
GG.
Now you'd
GG,
be
soldier.
unconscious, in the middle of having heat stroke and being blasted by radiation. At this point, you wouldn't have long.
I do wonder what like Jupiter and Saturn is going to be like.
Hot side of Mercury rates a 2 out of 10 from me.
Yeah, that seems awful. But like Jupiter has so much gravity and like storms and just crazy weather, atmosphere. I feel like that is one you die before you even touch the ground. Wait, does Jupiter even have a ground? Does it have a core?
All right, let's look at Mars. The red planet sounds a lot more promising. Where else in the solar system would you want to establish a human base? Well, not so fast. Mars sits just outside the sun's habitable zone. It doesn't have water or a magnetosphere. Its atmosphere is incredibly thin. It's not a place you could settle into comfortably.
It did have water though. I'm pretty sure that's proven. I think there might be frozen lakes. If there's not frozen lakes on it, then I know that there's like evidence of rivers and streams and bodies of water that used to be on Mars that are now gone. I don't know if they evaporated. I'm not really sure what happened to them exactly, but at some point there was water, which means that there could have been life on Mars at some point.
What do you mean? Mars is great.
That is, until you try to breathe on it. On Mars, the air is mostly made up of carbon dioxide. You'd have to keep your spacesuit on at all times, because if you didn't, you'd die.
Spacesuit breach detected.
It only takes a minor suit malfunction for
GG.
Mars to kill you.
What a lame way to
First few
go, you know? That
seconds of inhaling
sucks.
the air on Mars would feel confusing.
What's confusing about this? I'm dying.
You'd be gasping for oxygen and starting to breathe more rapidly. At the same time, your breached spacesuit would start to decompress, and that would be truly awful. The atmospheric pressure on Mars is only 0.6% of what you have on Earth. As soon as your spacesuit gave in, all the pressure inside it, the pressure keeping you alive, would escape.
Warning. Danger of embolism. Warning.
Embolism is what happens next. As your suit's pressure suddenly dropped, your body would experience painful, blood-boiling conditions. You see, your blood and other bodily fluids have gases inside them. Exposed to the low-pressure environment on Mars, these gases would boil. Your skin would swell and puff up. After about 7 minutes, you'd be dead. This is going to be pretty graphic. Somebody put a warning on the screen.
Oh my god, that is the grossest looking death count of them all so far, which is really surprising to me just because of all the talk of being able to move to Mars eventually and assimilate there. I think that the plan, though, is obviously he said that most of it is carbon dioxide or monoxide. Either way, the plan obviously would just be to plant a bunch of trees to then create oxygen on Mars, but we would only be able to do that like portion by portion. So I think the plan is to essentially create these giant bubbles as bases on Mars, then plant a bunch of trees to create the oxygen, and then as that bubble gets a bunch of oxygen, then we can expand outwards, create more bubbles, and eventually take over the entire world.
Mars would give you hope, and then gruesomely kill you the first chance it got.
That's got to be the worst one so far.
Seriously reconsider coming here, because even if you made absolutely sure that your spacesuit was safe and wouldn't suffer a life-ending breach, Mars will find another way to wipe you off its face. And that other way would be dust storms. Dust storms on Mars are wild. They can cover the entire planet, and they last for weeks or even months.
Is it crap in here?
That is another reason why we would need a big bubble to stop any of the storms coming through and destroying any vegetation that would be planted.
It's not that those storms are strong, they're not, but the dust particles are so fine that they get into your spacesuit easily and scratch it from the inside.
Oh man, what? Matt Damon can do this, so can I. Come on.
Matt Damon did do it.
Particles would clog your air filters and do all kinds of damage to your equipment.
The movie...
From cutting off your life support systems to knocking out your heat regulation.
Warning. 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 Oxygen system failure.
Well, that's
If you guys haven't seen The Martian, it's a movie with Matt Damon where he goes on a solo mission to Mars to start living there and creating like a base for other people to move there eventually, but he goes alone. Very, very awesome movie. Highly recommend.
Mars for you. I give it a 6 out of 10 just for the epicness of this whole death situation. Oh, and for giving you a chance to live here. Just maybe not for too long.
6 out of 10 is not too bad. Not too bad. Poor guy.
Mars, a 0.
It is the slowest and probably most gruesome death, though.
There's one more rocky planet lurking on the outskirts of the solar system.
Pluto.
Oh, sorry, hold on. My editor is saying it's actually not a planet, it's a dwarf planet.
It's true. Oh, we're going all the way right to Pluto. Wow.
The last deadly place to visit on this list, right after the giants.
Is Pluto habitable? It's got to be way too cold there.
Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, and as a gas giant, It has a number of ways to kill you.
There's no way you can even make it to its core before you die. Like, the entire thing is literally one giant storm.
Being twice as massive as all the other planets in the solar system combined, Jupiter has astronomical pressure. This planet is basically a gigantic ball of hydrogen and helium. It doesn't have a solid surface you could step on. You'd fall all the way through its atmosphere, although it wouldn't be that long of a fall for you.
I feel like there's got to be something in the middle. There's no way it's all just gas all the way to the core.
Suffocating, extreme pressure. What else is new?
Lightning. Yeah, that's right. Jupiter is home to some of the most violent lightning storms around.
Okay, well that's great, but
That is scary.
Well, of course not. In the upper atmosphere,
Ugh, I don't like looking at that.
Not as dramatic. The atmospheric pressure here is only 1/10 of the pressure we feel on Earth.
Capsule systems are stable.
Some 50 kilometers below Jupiter's clouds, you'd feel serious
50 kilometers.
Wind here would be strong, reaching up to 360 kilometers per hour.
It's so creepy to think about. Like, theoretically, if the balloon never pops and the spaceship stays intact the whole time, you could just keep going down and down and down and down and down until you get to the other side of Jupiter. Am I understanding this right? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me that there's no core. Like, it doesn't process in my brain. It doesn't calculate that there's nothing you can stand on, nothing physical down there. It's just gas.
Static buildup detected in the atmosphere.
As these chaotic winds violently battered you through the storm clouds, the lightning bolts would strike too close for comfort. The atmosphere.
Oh my God, bro. That looks
charged.
like...
And then...
That looks like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. That is terrifying.
One of these bolts
How is that
strike
real?
the capsule head on. This massive lightning would release enough energy to power a city or two. But for your capsule, it would be game over.
Oh, GG's,
the
instantly.
electrical systems would fail. The oxygen supply would fail, and the temperature inside the capsule would drop significantly. You'd now be trapped inside a powerless, leaking capsule surrounded by a deadly storm.
Oh, and you're dead.
I give Jupiter a 5 out of 10. Could recommend.
Well, really, he didn't even make it to anywhere on Jupiter. He was just in his spaceship and died. So that's got to be a 0. Because he didn't even walk out of the spaceship. At least on all the other ones, he was able to get out of the spaceship and like live for at least 2 seconds. He wasn't even able to get out.
This gas giant may not be as large as Jupiter, but it's definitely the most majestic. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system, and just like Jupiter, it's a gas giant made up of hydrogen and helium with no solid surface. Deep down in its clouds, the unimaginable pressure of this world turns hydrogen into liquid metal.
Okay, I need an explanation here. Like, how is there no core to these gas giants, especially because the outer ring of Saturn is made out of rock? You're telling me that like none of the rocks get into Saturn ever? Like, it doesn't happen? Maybe the answer is like they do, but when they do, they melt and then turn into liquid because it's so hot and like dense there that like physical matter can't exist, or not physical, but solid matter just can't exist. Like it must be gaseous because it's too it's too dense of an atmosphere for solids to exist. Like maybe that's the explanation.
And intense storms have winds raging at 1,800 kilometers per hour. It's windy, it's hot, it's dangerous. And you might die before you even enter Saturn's atmosphere.
What? Oh, because the asteroid belt, yeah.
What makes Saturn the most marvelous planet
Oh,
in
the
this
ring.
planetary hood is also what makes it dangerous on approach. Saturn's rings.
Surely you could just go like top down or bottom up.
Yeah, I
Pause.
see them all right.
These rings are made up of billions of small chunks of ice.
Like, just
and
don't go
rock,
through that part.
ranging from grains of dust to icy chunks the size of a house. Saturn has had its rings for a few 100 million years, and it'll have them for the next few 100 million years until these icy rocks rain down on the gas giant. The thing is, these rings move extremely fast, like 70,000 kilometers per hour fast.
What?
If you're not careful,
How?
your ship might just crash into them.
How does that even happen? And you're dead.
Saturn
You're dead to the
gets an 8
asteroids.
out of 10.
Or the belt. How is it 8 out of 10? Okay, it's gotta be 8 out of 10 like you die, right? But then in the beginning, they died instantly and it was a 1 out of 10. How is he saying 8 out of 10, like, survival chance in Saturn when you can't even get to the planet? What? Am I misunderstanding something here? That doesn't make any sense. The only thing that maybe makes sense is I did hear that Jupiter has some moons that you could live on, like Titan, maybe not Titan, but just as an example, because it has like 60 something moons, and some of them are potentially habitable for humans. So if he said like on Jupiter, well, maybe you can't live on Jupiter, but if you did live, you could live on one of the moons, which gives it, you know, a high chance of survival compared to the other planets. If he said something similar to that about Saturn, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, I get it. It's like kind of living on Saturn a little bit, but he didn't. He just said you died before you even get to the planet. Oh, 8 out of 10 on the survival rating. What? I don't get it.
Uranus is a beautiful, stormy, fart-smelling, deadly ice giant. It has the coldest
What does it mean by that?
atmosphere of all the planets in the solar system. And it can kill you in many ways.
Oh, God. That looks awesome,
The
actually.
way to go on Uranus would be to
Really
suffocate
beautiful
in
color.
its gases.
Oh, not the fart gases.
Does it actually smell like fart?
Close enough.
If it does, sign me
2%
up.
of the Uranian atmosphere is methane, a gas that's toxic to humans. Now, 2% might not sound like a whole lot, but it's concentrated enough to kill you within minutes. Maybe Uranian high-speed particles moving at 900 kilometers per hour eroded your suit. Or extreme temperatures of minus 224 degrees Celsius made it brittle and caused it to crack. Or hydrogen and methane had a chemical reaction with your suit materials, corroding them. On Uranus, anything could cause a breach, and even the smallest breach would lead to toxic methane exposure.
I was just falling and falling and falling.
But Uranus has other surprising ways to off you, like turning you into a human-sized diamond. You'd have to survive the
I was gonna
trip
say,
deeper-
with these giant gas planets, the middle, I'm conceding the fact that there is no rock core, even though, I don't know, I'm skeptical of it. But the closer you get to the core of these gas giants, the higher the pressure, the higher the intensity. Same thing with Earth too. But if you were to fall all the way to the core, you would just die to pressure. It would just, you would like collapse within, like a black hole. And I think that that is what he's about to say.
into Uranus to be turned into a diamond, all the way to some 10,000 kilometers below its cloud tops.
Yep, see?
That's where the pressure is so intense and the temperature is so high that carbon atoms crystallize into diamonds. About 18% of the human body is carbon, so you'd be about to undergo the most
Oh my God, he actually did
precious
turn
change
into
of
a
your
diamond.
lifetime.
Is that true? Would you actually turn into a diamond?
10 out of 10. Epic. Sparkling. With a bit of fun. Great planet to perish on.
I don't understand his rating scale, but
This is the last ice giant in the solar system and the most distant planet from the sun. Neptune.
Huh. Neptune. It looks a lot like Uranus.
what do you
It's
mean
true.
by that?
Neptune has a similar mass and size as Uranus, and it's even made up of some of the same materials like hydrogen, helium, iced ammonia, methane, and water. Only Neptune has one thing Uranus does not.
Extreme winds detected.
Neptune has
Ooh.
the fastest winds in the entire solar system. These gusts reach speeds of 2,100 kilometers per hour.
Whoa, that's crazy.
They're supersonic winds.
Hey,
Supersonic winds, what does that even mean? Do they make sonic booms just by the wind?
It gets worse, too. Not only are these winds extremely fast, but they're also turbulent. They create swirling vortices that would throw
Oh,
your
gee,
spaceship in
gee,
different
come on.
directions. Intense atmospheric pressure, winds, and methane ice would start ripping the ship apart. But that's not all. If you got caught in the Neptunian supersonic vortex, the winds
Oh, look at the
would
tornadoes.
violently spin the ship, and this centrifugal force would exert some serious G-forces.
Oh, passing out the G-forces that's kind of a cool way to go. I can't even lie.
As Neptune's winds
That kinda looks like
accelerate the ship to
fun.
about 10 Gs, everything inside your body would feel heavy. That would be your organs getting compressed inside your body.
Okay, maybe not as fun as I
Blood
thought.
would pool around your legs and cause oxygen deprivation to your brain. You'd lose consciousness.
But you would just
pretty
like
quickly.
pass out. Yeah, you would just like pass out and then die. That's not that bad.
Minutes for the ship
That's
and
not that
your
bad.
body to lose their structural integrity completely and disintegrate into the Neptunian atmosphere.
I think I would vote that way to die for me.
That was pretty violent. I give Neptune a 2 out of 10.
I just don't understand his death rating scale. I don't get it at all. Maybe he's just talking about like how gory each death would be. That makes sense to me, but it's not really based on like how survivable the planets are. It's just about how awful the death would be. And here we go. Here's Pluto. The planet that used to be.
Well, I know you guys like Pluto, so since you asked so nicely, I thought I'd give you a little treat and show you what it's like here.
Pluto isn't exactly a planet. It's a dwarf planet on the outskirts of the solar system.
I like to think of it as the moon of the I like to think of it as the moon of the solar system. Huh? I just made that up on the spot. Kind of genius.
It's smaller than Earth's moon, but even this tiny rock
It's smaller than
has
Earth's
ways
moon?
to kill you.
Really? I didn't know it was that small.
It's a little cold in here. You feel that?
Temperature reading, minus 239 degrees Celsius.
It's pretty
Pluto
cold.
is even further away from the sun than Neptune, so it barely gets any of the sun's energy. One small malfunction in your spacesuit insulation, and you'd freeze to death. You'd feel the frostbite setting in after just 30 seconds. Another 30 seconds later, your bodily fluids would start turning into icicles, and you'd get extreme hypothermia as an unpleasant bonus that you didn't ask for. After 2 minutes, your body temperature would drop below 30 degrees Celsius, which is the exact moment when you'd lose consciousness.
So this is like Mercury on the dark side of Mercury.
After
GG.
3 minutes, your body would freeze and your organs would fail. You'd become one with Pluto's frozen landscape. Quick and almost painless. That's a 7 out of 10 for Pluto.
It
He's alive.
hurt.
Oh, poor guy. I don't know why I feel so bad for him.
That's it for this solar system's planets.
Let's go, dude. That was sick. If you guys had to die on one planet, which one would you guys pick and why? Also, shout out to the What If channel. They make some awesome videos. Make sure to check them out. But if you guys do want to watch another awesome one from me, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and click right here to watch another awesome video.